You booked it, episode 174. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me today on You Booked It, the #1 podcast where you learn how to create a successful entertainment career. Every episode is a masterclass on how to move your career forward. Do you want to take your career to the next level? As a listener of this podcast, I am offering you the opportunity to work one-on-one with me to build the foundation of what you need to create a successful career in today's world. Regardless if you're starting out or you've been doing this a while, I've got you covered. Look, when I entered this industry, I went to the #1 school in the USA for musical theater, graduated with an insane skill set, and zero clue about how to actually make my skills a career. I lost years of momentum because of it. Do not let this happen to you. That's why I created this podcast. That's why I'm making you this offer to coach with me. If you're interested, simply tap the link in the description of this episode and let's chat. Okay, let's get started. I am excited to introduce my guest today, Justine Menter. Are you ready for this, Justine?
Absolutely.
All right. Justine is an LA-based choreographer, director, and producer who brings her warm, infectious personality to every project she works on. Whether it's network television, convention stages, or videos premiering worldwide, she is best known for teaching Kim Kardashian on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and her professional work spans Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, America's Got Talent, LMFAO, CBS's Life in Pieces, Fox's LA to Vegas, Faith Hill, Manny Pacquiao, Sephora, The View, and LA Fashion Week. She is also the former owner and creative director of Flirt Dancers in Hollywood. She is on faculty at AMDA in LA, Loom, and Soul to Soul Dance Convention. She teaches internationally and is the founder of Mentor Management, an online platform for industry coaching. Justine, that is a quick intro of who you are and what you've done, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, fill in the gaps, and a little bit more about what you do as a professional in the entertainment industry?
Great. Yeah, I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, but I've been in LA now for a little bit over 13 years. I mostly work as a dance educator and a freelance choreographer, and that's pretty much it.
Beautiful. And let's dig into this first section here. And Justine, look, I am a sucker for a good quote. What is your favorite quote you like to share with everyone?
Yeah, me too. I love a good quote. My favorite one right now, because it definitely changes by the day, is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And it's by Wayne Gretzky, who's, a famous hockey player.
Yeah, so good. I love the quote. And you know what? I don't know if I've even heard that on the podcast yet, but that is one of my all-time favorite quotes. Can you expand on that a bit, on how you've applied that and worked it into your career?
Yeah, I feel like it's been the theme of life recently, especially now in 2020. Just not waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, or the best case scenario. If you wait, then you simply you won't get it. So there's going to be somebody else there to take your spot or to book it if you don't go for it every single time.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we're finding that, especially now, when it really puts into perspective, I think is the right thing to say, because our industry has flatlined very much so, right? And
Yeah.
before, opportunities would come up and people might call, you might get an email, things just ebb and flow your way sometimes, and that's really cool. But now nothing's happening and nothing does happen unless you make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel
Yeah.
like it's really been the motto of my career forever. Just not waiting for someone to book me or for the right job to come along, or even just in life, not waiting for the right time to have kids because you're just never going to be ready for it. So just doing what your heart is telling you to do and not making excuses.
For sure. And let's get into this next section here. And Justine, of course, you are an entertainer. I'm an entertainer. And I think that you'd agree that this industry can be one of the most subjective, brutally honest, personally emotional industries in existence. And you know as well as I that in order to create and have a successful career in this industry like you're having now takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And while, yeah, there is an outrageous amount of fun and excitement being an entertainer, doing what we do, there are also our fair share of obstacles, challenges, and failures we are going to experience and we're going to have to move forward through. So tell us, what is one key challenge, obstacle, or failure you've experienced in your career, and how did you come out the other side better because of it?
Such a good point. There's so many challenges, like you're saying, in the industry because it's not consistent ever. So, but probably one of my biggest ones is I was actually dropped from my dance agency I was signed with back in 2009. It was part of a really big mass exodus from the agency. I think it was about 500 clients were dropped, but it was pretty scary. I had signed with an agency. It was actually my second agency out, but I had not ever not been signed. Wow, that was a double negative. But I'd always had an agency. I'd always had the representation.
Right.
And even though the majority of what I was doing at the time was really self-made, it still felt that part of my identity was like taken away as the quote unquote signed dancer, having their name attached to what I was doing and giving me like a validation of sorts. Honestly, it pushed me to work harder because I was just motivated to prove them wrong. Thankfully, I still had commercial representation, so I was able to continue auditioning in different avenues. And then it just landed up that I got a dance manager after that who I was able to connect with because I ran into his partner, or not ran into, I met his partner at CB2, the furniture store.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'll give him your number or I'll tell him that you're going to email him. So I reached out to him from there and it just snowballed from there. And then he eventually introduced me to the agent who would represent me for choreography first. And that agency really played a huge role in my career for the forthcoming years.
Yeah. I really like how you talk about the relationship that really created that, because relationships in this industry really are everything. It's great to have an agent and they do so many wonderful things for you, right? And they can be such a fantastic resource. But it really boils down to having those relationships with people and making sure that you're not burning bridges, that you're nice to people, that you follow up with people. And you have to, like your quote, you have to put yourself out there. You have to do the thing. You can't just say, oh yeah, I'll tell him I'm emailing him. And then if you don't, you have to follow through. You have to do the thing.
Absolutely.
Really like that you highlighted the importance of relationships.
Absolutely. So important.
And let's move on to a time that I like to call your spotlight moment. That one moment in time you realized, yes, I am going to be an entertainer for a living. Or maybe it was, yes, this is what I need to be doing in the entertainment industry. Tell us about that.
So my spotlight moment was definitely moments. It was when I was spending the summer in New York City during a summer in college. I was a summer intern at Broadway Dance Center in New York. And I just fell in love with that lifestyle. And obviously, New York is easy to fall in love with, just the energy and everything about it. But
yeah,
there's something about the lifestyle of choosing a path as an artist that was very attractive to me. Obviously, BDC during that time, it was 2005. I actually did both summers, 2005 and 2006. But doing that program in a very structured way was really inspiring. The teachers in New York were just incredible, and just the energy of that and the teachers and the lifestyle, the exposure, all of it. It was just like, yes, this is me. This is how I'm moving forward. So that was definitely my spotlight moment.
Very cool. And let's piggyback on that real quick and talk about your number one booked it moment. Walk us through that day, the auditions and callbacks, if they happen to be a part of it. What was going on in your life, and what about that moment makes it your favorite booked it moment?
Oh goodness. Well, I really haven't had a conventional career as a dancer. Honestly, I didn't always want to be a dancer. I wanted to be a dancer, but I wanted to segue quickly into choreography
Hmm.
and being a director. I really loved the behind the scenes of all of that. But very early in my career, probably about I don't know, maybe a year after being in LA, I was teaching at IDA, which is a studio that was out here that closed recently. And they did a showcase in the Chinese theater courtyard, like right at Hollywood and Highland, just right next to the Chinese theater. And I did a piece to LMFAO's I'm in Miami Leap. I won't say the word. And I posted it on YouTube. And that was YouTube was cool, but it wasn't like what it is now.
Right.
And next thing I know, I get an email in my inbox in my professional website's email. And it was from one of the members of the group, LMFAO. It was from Red Foo.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, we really love your combo. I mean, I wish I could remember the wording, but I definitely don't. But it was because I was so like, what's happening right now? It was like, we love this. Like, we want to perform, we want you to perform this at a show, and can you meet with us? And yada, yada. And I was like, holy moly, what's happening? Because it was just rare for that to happen, right? You don't normally get, well, in 2007, you didn't get booked off of online things. There was no influencers, there was no Instagram at the time. It was like MySpace and
Yeah.
YouTube was burgeoning. So it was awesome to get that email. And I took a friend to go to their apartment in the Hollywood Hills and had a meeting with them. And I did the choreography from the show that I had just done with a few of my friends. And yeah, that's one of my favorite jobs, one of my favorite moments, and probably really special because it was very early on in my career.
Yeah, that is so cool. Taking advantage of those online platforms straight away when they were just really starting to take off is so cool that you did that. And it's so much more difficult now to have
Yeah,
something like that stick out and have someone contact you because there's so much content now and there's so many people creating amazing things and everyone posts their stuff on social media now. There's a lot
right.
of noise and
Mhm.
way cool that you're able to leverage YouTube in its infancy and book something so cool. Way awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And let's take a moment to talk about the present. What projects are you working on now? What are you looking forward to? And it's a weird time, right? We're amidst this global pandemic. How do you see the entertainment industry moving forward in the next couple of years?
Okay, there's a lot to that question, so I'm gonna do my best.
For sure.
Right now, I'm focusing entirely on my new management program called Mentor Management, all online and all geared towards dancers who are either new to the industry or are looking to make a change in their pre-existing career.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, I'm really excited about it. I obviously my last name is Mentor, but ironically, I've been a mentor for many years to so many students, and I love that role. I love teaching. I love helping dancers move forward in their professional career and really fine-tuning their look and helping them just be an efficient professional behind the scenes online on their computer with organization and etiquette and all of that good stuff. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it. I'm very passionate about it, and I'm hoping to help as many people as I can with that platform online. And what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to being back in a studio with dancers in 3D. I love teaching. I'm very thankful to be teaching virtually for sure, but there is no matching the energy of dancers in a room together. It's just there's no matching it.
Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, that's everything, right? That's the catch with our live theater industry, right? Is that it's all
Yes.
about that energy exchange.
Absolutely. Yeah, the tiny squares, they're great, but they're just not doing it for me. And I'm sure everybody can relate to that. It's fine. And it's thankfully we have that medium to make it work. But I definitely miss that energy for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is time to move on to one of my favorite sections in the interview. I call it the Grease Lightning Round. I am going to ask you a handful of questions. I want you to answer them as quickly and concisely as possible, one after another. Are you ready?
I'm always ready. Grease is my favorite movie, so I'm ready for it.
First question. What was the one thing holding you back from committing to a career as an entertainer?
Definitely the instability of a career as an artist. I was very worried about that.
Yes. Second question. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Okay. I think the best piece of advice I've ever received is from an agency rep meeting that I actually didn't end up landing. But she said, you don't have to be in the scene to be working. And that really stuck with me because it helped me like move my mindfulness away from all the people who were gossiping or partying together and allowed me to focus on what I was doing and knowing that would still be valuable.
Yes, there may be some things to be said about networking and being around people and going to events and things like that. For sure, you need to develop relationships, but that can also be a very fine line to where it's actually a detriment to what it is you're working towards.
Yeah, I agree. No, for sure you should be networking. I definitely am not discounting that. I think it was more just like if I would get discouraged seeing certain people hanging out or things like that, then I
Yeah,
think that was just like a good side note.
absolutely. And the third question, what is something that is working for you right now? Or if you'd like to go pre-COVID, what was working for you before our industry went on pause?
Definitely the Peloton. I love just disconnecting. Like it's such an escape, great workout. And I love all the teachers on there. They give great bits of advice and they keep you motivated. And it's so easy because you can access it from the palm of your hands. And I just feel like it keeps me sane right now.
Very good. And you have a bike at your house?
I do. Yeah.
Amazing. I've heard wonderful, amazing things about those bikes. Are they as good as everyone says they are?
Honestly, yes. I really think so. I was never a cycle person. Literally have not been to one group cycle class ever. But my husband actually got it for his birthday, and I've been the one that's been using it because I just took it over. I just really was like curious. And then a couple of my friends were doing it, and it's very community based. And then I started taking a class from former dancers, and I just felt connected to them, and that really helped me. So yeah, I'm currently on a 26-week streak, which I enjoy their like statistics. You can really like keep track of everything, and I'm definitely my brain needs that. So Peloton for the win for sure.
Very cool. Yeah, I've heard people say, yeah, the bike is expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Very cool. And the fourth question, what is your best resource, whether that is a book, a movie, a YouTube video, maybe a podcast or piece of technology you found is helping your career right now?
Well, besides the Peloton, I do the podcast Dance Boss, and obviously I like your podcast. It's just helpful to hear from other professionals sometimes and just get out of your head and be inspired by someone else. There's also a website called Pivot for Dancers, who I just did a piece for, but great resource for the community, really important aspects to discuss. And honestly, the best resource for me right now is disconnection. I think it's, especially since we're all spending so much time on screens, I really have to take a break and take a step back. So I actually use my alarm on my phone, and it's like a set every day from 6 to 7 p.m. So I turn it off or like on
Yeah.
airplane mode or whatever. And then I leave my phone out of my room at night. So I absolutely have to do that every night for myself. Otherwise I will just be, intertwined with the internet world, and I don't want to be.
I think that's a really good point that you make because it's so easy, especially during this time, to go down the rabbit holes of the interwebs, hey, and all the different apps and social media and everything. And it's so easy because it'll just keep giving you content that you love
Yes,
or hate to love. And
exactly.
it can be really valuable and really wonderful for both professionally as resources for entertainment, all the things. But we have to remember to stay present as well and realize that we still need to connect with people, right? And
Yeah.
be also with our own thoughts for a minute, every once in a while, at least.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I encourage it so much to all of my students or anyone. I'm just like, put the phone down for a minute, schedule it, make it very specific what you're trying to do, because otherwise your phone won't be in control of you and you'll be in control of your phone.
Love that. Your phone won't be in control of you. You will be in control of your phone. So good. And the fifth question, if you had to start your career from scratch, but you still had all the knowledge and experience you've collected from your career in this industry, what would you do or not do? Would you do anything differently, or would you keep it the same?
I wouldn't do many things differently, but I would have kept up with YouTube a little bit more than I did.
Yeah, for sure. And the last question, what is the golden nugget knowledge drop you've learned from your successful career in this industry you'd like to leave with our listeners?
This is a quote, but it's my quote. So I'll leave the golden nugget. All you can do is be the best you. The rest is out of your hands, right? We can't control the outcome. We will never know if you're going to book it or even why you didn't book it. But you have to give it your all. You have to be prepared, professional, ready, mentally and physically. The rest is out of your hands.
Love that advice. And to wrap up this interview, Justine, it is time for you to give yourself a plug. Where can we find you? How do our listeners connect with you? Is there anything you want to promote?
Yeah, absolutely. I spend most of my time online for sure on Insta, and you can find me at Justine Menter and also mentor.management without any of the vowels. And I'd love to promote the program for any performers wherever they are in the world. They can connect with me. I will sit one-on-one with them. And you can sign up on my website, which is justinementer.com/mentor management.
Perfect. And for everyone listening out there, I have put the links to everything Justine just said into the description of this episode so you can easily connect with her. And also be sure to share this podcast with your fellow entertainers, coaches, teachers, arts and entertainment educators, and anyone you know aspiring to create a career in this industry. You Booked It is the #1 resource of expertise on how to create a successful entertainment career. It is integral to helping them succeed and helping you create a better, more fulfilling career in this wild and crazy industry. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next guest. Justine, thank you so much for being on today. It's been so great to get to know you, to have a bit of a chat.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't miss an episode. Every guest drops more value and insight than any other resource out there. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a rating and review. Also, be sure to head over to youbookeditpodcast.com and join our free email community where we dig deep into a continually growing resource of truly actionable things you can be doing right now to help you advance your entertainment career. All the best to you.